Hi, Henrik. Hey, I've got a book I want to read to you. So this is called Grandfather Buffalo, and it's by Jim Arnosky. So you see that's Grandfather Buffalo, and then that's like a smaller buffalo, right? Okay, Grandfather Buffalo. Grandfather Buffalo was old and slow, but he was still strong. He was the biggest and oldest bull in the herd, and he was getting older every day. He spent a lot of time alone, lying in the tall grass, resting his old bones. When the herd moved on, Grandfather Buffalo slowly stood, shook the dust off his sides, and followed. Each time he was left a little farther behind. So can you see? Like the rest of the buffalo are way up here, and here's Grandfather Buffalo way back there, taking his time. But as long as he could see the others, he was still a part of the herd. Longhorn cattle and prairie dogs kept the old buffalo company some of the way. Mostly, though, he walked alone, following the fresh tracks of his herd. One day at the drinking stream, Grandfather Buffalo came upon another buffalo, also traveling far behind the herd. It was a young cow carrying the heavy weight of her unborn calf. So that's a female, right? So that's a female buffalo, and she's pregnant. She's got a baby in there. So she has to walk really slow. She had to stop and get water, so now she got behind too. Together, they followed the tracks of the herd. When some cowboys came looking for their cattle, Grandfather Buffalo stormed at them and pawed the ground until they rode away. Later that night, with the herd grazing close by, the cow gave birth to her calf. All through the night, Grandfather Buffalo listened in the darkness for sounds of danger, but all he heard were the tiny bleats of the newborn calf and the soft grunts of its mother. Oh, you see the baby? There's the baby. In the morning light, the old bull walked over for a closer look. The calf looked up, unafraid. See how big he is compared to that little guy? When the herd moved on, the calf stumbled and hopped and ran, trying to keep up with his mother and the rest. Grandfather Buffalo was close behind, nudging the calf along. Look at him. He says, "Get him moving." They walked into a dust storm. The calf lost sight of his mother and ran around, bleating loudly. In the blur of the storm, he accidentally ran into Grandfather Buffalo and butted his hard little head on the old bull's woolly side. Grandfather Buffalo grunted and kept grunting as he walked. The calf followed the sound through the blinding dust. Oh, so he kept making noises so that the calf wouldn't get lost. Even if he couldn't see, he could hear him. When the dust cleared, the herd was grazing just ahead. The calf ran to his mother. Grandfather Buffalo was tired and wanted to be by himself. He found a quiet spot to lie down and quickly fell asleep. It was light when the old bull was awakened by something pressing against his ribs. It was the calf napping by his side. You can see him sleeping next to the Grandfather Buffalo. In the light of the rising moon, Grandfather Buffalo got up, waking the calf with the motion. Then the calf followed his mother, and Grandfather Buffalo followed the calf down to the rest of the herd, and they all grazed together. Grandfather Buffalo was old and slow, but he was still a part of the herd. Oh, so he ended up actually saving the calf and probably the mom too, right? Because he helped the mom. What a great story. So even though he was old and he couldn't keep up with everybody, he still was super important. I hope you liked it.